Hi friends, welcome back. In this video, we will discuss the design of audio power amplifier using IC LM380 or LM386. Okay. In the previous video, we have discussed that some circuits, design of some circuits based on IC555, that is circuit design of a stable multivibrator using IC555, which is also called as a square wave generator or free running multivibrator. Then we have discussed on the circuit design of monostable multivibrator, that is also called as timer circuit. Okay, so by using those circuit you can design your own square wave generator or you can design your own timer circuit by using IC555. In this video we will discuss the design of audio power amplifier, so you will be able to design your own audio power amplifier at your home for your mobile phone. Okay, so let us continue the design of specialized IC based circuits. That means in this segment, design of audio power amplifier using IC LM380. Okay, then we will discuss the design of function generator using IC 8038 and then PLL IC design using IC LM565. Okay, so let us proceed further with the design of audio power amplifier using IC LM380. Okay, so here we can see that the circuit diagram of audio power amplifier using IC LM380. There are two circuit diagrams. The first one is the circuit diagram for variable gain of 50. The gain of this IC is internally fixed for 50, or we can convert it into dBs as 34 dB. And the second circuit diagram is for a fixed gain of 200. That means gain can be extended maximum up to 200. So internal fixed gain is 50, but it can be extended with certain external components which we can see here. C1 R1 are the external components, then this R3 C3 along with R1 R2, the gain can be extended up to 200. Okay, so IC LM380 is an audio power amplifier which is designed to get a maximum output of 2.5 watt power, and the load can be 8 ohm with 0.2% total harmonic distortions. Okay, so IC LM380 is a 14 pin DIP package. It is available in DIP package. Then it has internally fixed gain of 50 to 34 dB, 50 or 34 dB. Then internal short circuit or thermal protection circuit is already there inbuilt inside the IC. Then it has wide supply voltage range, that is from 5 volt to 22 volt power supply is required. Then high peak current capability of 1.3 milliampere maximum. Then it has very high input impedance, which is the requirement of an ideal amplifier, and practically it is 150 kilo ohm for IC LM380. Bandwidth is also good up to 100 kilohertz, typically at output power of 2 watt and load resistance or any load connected of 8 ohm. Okay, so there are two circuits. Variable gain circuit, we can focus on the first circuit as the input signal, audio input signal is applied to pin number 2 and between pin number 2 and 6. So basically it is an operational amplifier which has two inputs, inverting and non-inverting input. So pin number 2 is non-inverting, 6 is inverting, and in between that a variable resistor is connected which is called as a gain adjustment resistor or potentiometer, through which we can control the volume control pot. Okay, we can say pin number 14 is plus VCC, 3 and 7 are ground, and 8 is output pin. Okay, to pin number 8, uh, we can see that coupling capacitor is connected between pin number 8 and 8 ohm speaker. Then there are there are certain other components like dotted line, shown by dotted line, R and C are connected. What is the function of these two, we will see. One terminal of speaker is grounded. Okay, in the second circuit diagram you can see input signal is applied to pin number 6, that is inverting terminal, pin number 2 non-inverting, and a parallel combination of C1 and R1 are connected here to pin number 2, that is non-inverting terminal. 3 7 are grounded, 14 plus VCC, and output terminal connected to the loudspeaker through the coupling capacitor C2. Okay, so let us discuss the design steps and working of this circuit. Okay, so in the second diagram, you can focus the LM380 is connected for a fixed value of gain, that is up to 200. Okay, the input signal is applied to the inverting terminal and output of amplifier is fed back to the input through the feedback network R1 and R2. Okay, so here you can see the feedback network which is formed by R1 and R2, the two resistors. Now here it is a positive feedback. Okay, because the output is fed back to the input. So if the question is asked to design the audio amplifier for variable gain up to 50, so you have to draw this circuit diagram, and if it is asked for a fixed gain of up to 200, you have to refer this diagram. Okay, so in that, what you have to calculate, just you have to in the first diagram you have to calculate the value of this variable resistor potentiometer. Directly you can assume the value, so there is no design point of view in the first diagram. Directly the IC is by default LM380 and only one component is required, that is a variable resistor. Here the value of this capacitor is fixed, these two are optional components. What is need of these two components I will discuss you, and load can be a variable load one. Okay, so there is nothing to discuss to design in the first circuit. We will focus on the second circuit diagram in which the gain is very high up to 200. Okay, so you will have to calculate the values of R1, C1 and R2. Other component values are fixed. R3 is equal to 2.7 ohm, C3 is equal to 0.1 microfarad. Here this capacitor value is 0.2 microfarad. Okay, and calculation of this C2 also. Okay, so as you can see here in this second diagram, so there is a positive feedback through register network R1 and R2. So the gain of LM380 is internally fixed, it is 50, that is gain without feedback is 50, and with feedback it can be extended up to 200. So AV is nothing but gain without feedback. We can say AV, voltage gain without feedback, it is equal to 50, and AF or AVF is nothing but voltage gain with feedback, it is equal to 200. Okay, so gain with feedback is given by one formula, that is AF is equal to AV divided by this formula. Here you can see AF, gain with positive feedback, AVF, VF stands for feedback gain, voltage gain with feedback is equal to AV by 1 minus beta into AV. Okay, where AV is the overall gain of LM380 with feedback, that is equal to 200. AV is equal to voltage gain without feedback, it is equal to 50, and beta is equal to feedback factor, which depends on the values of two resistors R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so beta is the feedback factor whose value depends on the resistor values. Okay, so in second year we have studied that there are two types of feedbacks, positive feedback and negative feedback. If there is a positive feedback, the equation for feedback is equal to is given by this equation, AVF equal to AV by 1 minus beta into AV, and if there is a negative feedback, the gain equation will be AVF is equal to AV divided by 1 plus beta into AV. Okay, there is a plus sign in negative feedback, whereas there is a negative sign in denominator in when there is a positive feedback. Okay, now the capacitor C is added in the circuit, it is connected in parallel with R1, whose function is to improve the upper cutoff frequency response. So we know the frequency response of an amplifier, it is the graph of frequency versus gain in dB, frequency on x-axis and gain on y-axis. Okay, so there is a lower cutoff frequency, upper cutoff frequency. So to improve the upper cutoff frequency, there is a the capacitor C1 which improves the upper cutoff frequency. Okay, and whose value can be calculated as xc1 is equal to r1 based on this relationship. Xc1, where xc1 is nothing but capacitive reactance of capacitor c1, and whose value should be equal to r1. Okay, such that c1 can be calculated, c1 by using this formula, c1 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi fh into r1, where what is fh is the f max or higher cutoff frequency, as it decides the higher cutoff frequency. It improves the higher cutoff frequency response. Okay, so when C1 is there, in denominator there is R1. So you have to remember this equation, XC1 is equal to R1. Okay, now capacitor C2 is used as output coupling capacitor, whose value can be calculated by using this relation. So you have to keep in mind this relationship, XC2 is equal to RL. Okay, you can see the position of C2, where is C2 is connected. The C2 is connected here, and you have to compare it with the load resistance or any load connected, so that XC2, that means capacitive reactance of C2, should be equal to the value of RL. Okay, so based on that, you have to keep in mind this formula. C2 can be calculated as C2 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FL into RL, as it improves the lower cutoff frequency response. Therefore FL is considered here, and it is related with RL, therefore RL is there in the denominator. So C2 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FL into RL, where FL is the lower cutoff frequency. Capacitor C4 is connected in the circuit, where between the plus VCC and the power supply and the ground, plus VCC and ground, it is connected C4. So which is used to avoid the spikes in the supply voltage when the circuit is little bit having more distance, typically more than 5 centimeter from the power supply. So which will also improve the transient response of regulator, and generally capacitor value is 0.2 microfarad. Okay, then as a precautionary measure, series combination of R3 and C3, R3 is equal to 2.7 ohm and C3 is equal to 0.1 microfarad. These two, C3, R3 and C3, having typical values 2.7 ohm and 0.1 microfarad. These two are used in the circuit to suppress undesirable oscillations, to remove the undesirable unwanted oscillations in RF sensitive environment, and which also provides the stability with high current loads. Okay, so these two components R3 and C3 are optional, which can be used in RF sensitive environment. Okay, so let us see that which are the important formulae you have to remember while solving the problem based on this. The number one formula is feedback factor beta is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2, which is obtained by voltage divider rule. Gain with feedback AV by 1 minus beta into AV. You can calculate C1 value and C2 value by using these two formulas. Okay, so first step will be always given what is given, second will be calculation of R1 and R2, third will be calculation of C1 and C2, and fourth will be selection of C3, R3 and C4, which are already having fixed values as I told you, and last one will be the circuit diagram. Okay, here you can see C1 is compared with the C1 is compared with R1, so XC1 is equal to R1, and C2 is compared with load, so XC2 is equal to RL. Okay, so C1 improves the higher cutoff frequency response, therefore FH is there in this equation, and C2 is improving the lower cutoff frequency response, therefore FL is there in the equation of C2. Okay, so let us solve the problem based on this. The problem is like this: design a power amplifier using LM380 for following specifications: output power equal to 1.5 watt, load RL is equal to 4 ohm, then bandwidth 30 kilohertz, 30 hertz to 15 kilohertz, then AV is equal to 50. If AV is not given, you have to assume it as 50, maximum gain as 50. Okay, so what is given? Output power, load, minimum F mean means lower cutoff frequency is given as 30 hertz, and F max means higher cutoff frequency is given as 15 kilohertz. AV equal to 50 by default. Okay, AV equal to 50 and AVF is equal to 200. These two values are by default for ICLM 380, which makes the design very easy. So after first step given, second step is calculation of R1 and R2. So you know the formula for R1 and R2 is beta is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2. But what is the value of beta? To calculate beta, we are having this another standard formula where we know the values of AVF is 200 and AV standard it is 50. So by keeping the values, you will get the beta value 0.25. So directly you can keep in mind the value of beta as here finally you will get 0.015. so that will be a standard value for beta. Here you can keep in mind. So if you assume one value of register, that means you can assume R1 or you can assume R2. So by using the same formula, by keeping the value of beta and assuming R1 is equal to 10 kilo ohm, you will get the value of R2 as 556.6, which can be approximated to standard value 680 ohm kilo ohm. Okay, 680 kilo ohm. So you have assumed R1 and calculated R2. Second, next step will be calculation of C1 and C2. You know the standard formulas. C1 is equal to this one. So you know the value of 2, then pi 3.14, then R1 you have assumed as 10 kilo ohm. FH, higher cutoff frequency, is given as 15 kilohertz. So keeping all the values, you will get the values 1061 picofarad, which can be rounded off or to the standard value 1000 picofarad. Similarly, C2, you are having the formula C2 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FL into RL. FL is the lower cutoff frequency, which is given as 30 hertz. So and RL is 4 ohm. So calculating and keeping the values, you will get 1500 microfarad standard value. Your calculation is this, and you have rounded off to it 1500 microfarad. Selection of R3, C3 and C4, that is last step, which are already standard values of the circuit. So R3 directly you can select 2.7 ohm, C3 0.1 microfarad and C4 0.2 microfarad. Okay, these three are the standard values you have to keep in mind and you have to directly write down. Okay, so you have to solve the problem in these steps. Number 1, first of all, what is given? Number 2, calculation of R1 and R2. Number 3, calculation of C1 and C2. Number 4, selection of R3, C3 and C4. And number 5, draw the circuit diagram with all component values. Here we have calculated R1, C1, then R2, and these values are generally the standard values, fixed values. And then C2. Okay, load is 4 ohm. So this is the circuit diagram. Like that you can solve the problem based on audio power amplifier. Okay, let us move further. We will move to the design of 8038 based function generator. Okay, so function generator is basically a circuit which generates different types of waveforms like square, triangular, sine waveforms. So IC 8038 is a monolithic IC. Monolithic means single layered IC which generates sine, square and triangular waveform, and also that's why it is called as a monolithic waveform generator. So by using this circuit you can design your own function generator at your home. 8038 is a available in 14 pin DIP package, as you can see here, available in 14 pin DIP package. Pin number sine 1 sine wave adjust, pin number 2 is sine wave output, 3 is triangular output, duty cycle adjust, pin number 4 and 5, 6 plus VCC, 7 FM bias, 7 and 8 related with FM. Okay, 9 square wave output, 10 timing capacitor, pin number 11 minus VCC or ground, pin number 12 sign adjust, and 13 and 14 are not connected. Okay, and this is the typical circuit diagram of function generator, where you can see at pin number 2 sine wave output is available, pin number 3 triangular waveform is available, pin number 9 square waveform is available, pin number 4 and 5, to these two pins there are two resistors, variable resistors are connected, RA and RB, which are used for duty cycle adjustment. You know the duty cycle of the square wave, perfect square wave is having 50% duty cycle. Okay, and both are connected to plus VCC. RA and RB, their combination is connected to plus VCC. Pin number 7 and 8 are not used in this function, therefore they are shorted. Pin number 7 and 8, here you can see pin number 7 is shorted with pin number 8. To pin number 10, different capacitors values can be connected, which are used for frequency adjustment. Okay, so what are different frequency ranges? Like suppose 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, one capacitor can be used. Then 10 to 100, another capacitor value can be used. Then 100 to 1 megahertz, another next capacitor can be used. So array of capacitors can be connected to pin number 10, and a selector switch can be used to select the different capacitor values so that different frequency ranges can be selected. So pin number 10 is frequency adjust, to which external capacitors are to be connected for the different frequency ranges. Pin number 11 is to be connected to ground or minus VCC. Pin number 12 is sign adjustment, sign shaper we can say. So by using a variable resistor of 100 kilo ohm there at pin number 12, we can reshape, we can give the proper shape to the sine wave. Okay, so this is the typical circuit diagram of IC8038. Now these are some features of IC8038. It may require single or dual power supply available in 14-pin DIP package, which generates sine square and triangular output. Wide frequency range from almost 0 hertz to 300 kilohertz. Variable duty cycle from 2% to 98%. There are very less distortion. Thermal stability is there. Okay, here you can see the improved circuit diagram also, but we will not focus on this. As an exam point of view, we will focus on the typical circuit diagram, which we have explained already earlier. Now this is the internal circuit diagram. So you can see in the internal circuit diagram, it's a little bit simplified. There are two voltage sources, as you can see, current source 1 and current source 2. Here current source 1, current source 2 are the two voltage sources. There are two op amps, comparator 1, comparator 2. There is a flip-flop, buffer, sine shaper, and here is one more buffer. Okay, at the output of buffer you are getting here square wave. At pin number 2 you are getting sine wave, and pin number 3 you are getting triangular wave. Okay, triangular wave is nothing but the waveform across this capacitor, which is connected externally to the IC. Okay, the external capacitor which decides which generates initially the triangular wave. From that triangular wave, by using sine shaper, we will get the sine wave. Okay, and output of flip-flop is nothing but 0 and 1, which is buffered, and the square wave is available at the output. Okay, so how this circuit actually, this is the internal circuit. You can say there are two current sources. Out of these two current sources, one is sourcing the current and other is sinking the current. That means providing the, one current source C1 is providing the current, and other current source 2 is sinking, means it is nothing but used to discharge the capacitors which is externally connected. Okay, so current source 1 is used to charge the capacitor, and current source 2 is used to discharge with the same rate, to discharge the capacitor with the same rate. Okay, the current source 1 drives the capacitor voltage above the positive reference level. Okay, when the power supply is connected, the current source 1 is charging the capacitor in this way, and it will be charged to the positive reference voltage. Therefore comparator 1 sets the flip-flop through the, when the capacitor voltage reaches above 2/3 VCC, this 2/3 VCC is the reference voltage for comparator 1. So as soon as capacitor voltage crosses this 2/3 VCC, comparator 1 sets the flip-flop. So as the flip-flop is set, which will switches the current source to on. Okay, because there is a reset pin connected to flip-flop, and at the same time the output is given to the buffer, and through buffer it will be available at pin number 9. So you will get the square waveform at pin number 9, but this reset pin is given to the current source 2. So the current source 2 discharges the capacitor at the same rate at it was charged by the current source 1. So when capacitor voltage, that is triangular waveform, falls below the negative reference level, so as you can see, the negative reference level is 1/3 VCC, and the capacitor voltage is also given to comparator 2 also and comparator 1 also. So the two voltages will be compared by comparator 2 during the discharge. The capacitor voltage when reduces during the discharging, when reduces below the negative reference level, the comparator 2 resets the flip-flop now, and current source 2 is switched off now. Okay, and current source 1 again begins charging the capacitor. Okay, So there is alternate charging and discharging by using current source 1 and current source 2. When there is a charging, current source 1 is charging the capacitor, and that value capacitor voltage is compared by the comparator 1, and this one will set the flip flop. Whereas during the discharging, the capacitor voltage is compared with one third VCC reference voltage, and comparator 2 will reset the flip flop. Okay, based on that set reset commands, you will get the output as 0 and 1, that means a square wave through the buffer at pin number 9. And this charging and discharging type of waveform is buffered, and it is directly available at pin number 3 as a triangular waveform. And by reshaping this signal by using sine shaper, we will get sine wave at pin number 2. Okay, so this is the brief working of IC8038 with the internal diagram. Now let us solve some problems based on this. So what are the design steps? Let us directly see the design step before solving the problem. So here IC is by default 8038. We have to calculate the values of external components, that is RA and RB. So you can see the formula for calculation of RA value. RA is equal to TP by 1.66 into C, where TP is positive edge of the waveform, which is nothing but we can say T on also. Tn is negative edge, that is T off. So TP is nothing but T on, and Tn is nothing but T off. So TP plus T in is nothing but total time period T. Okay, so for RA we can use this formula, for RB we can use this formula, twice of RA into Tn divided by TP plus Tn. Okay, and we know that for 50% duty cycle, T on is equal to T off, that means TP is equal to Tn, one and the same. So T by 2, you will get 1 by 2f, output frequency FO. So for output frequency FO is this is the standard formula, is 0.3 divided by R into C. Okay, and from this also we can calculate, if frequency is known, directly R can be calculated by rearranging the term. Okay, so these three formulas you have to keep in mind: RA, RB, and output frequency formula. Okay, then you can assume the value of capacitor. In the first step it is shown. In the first step, list out the given parameters, as well as if the frequency is given, you can assume the value of capacitor based on that standard frequency table which we have used for selecting the capacitor in astable and monostable multivibrator. Different capacitor values are there for different frequency ranges like this. Here you can see for 0.1 hertz to 1 hertz it is 100 microfarad. Suppose for 100 hertz to 1 kilohertz, you can select the value of capacitor 0.1 microfarad. If the frequency is 1 kilohertz, it is available in both ranges, so you can select both type of capacitors, both values of capacitor, 0.1 or 0.01. So based on these are just guidelines for selection of capacitors, external capacitors. Then assume the value of pull-up resistor. So what is pull-up resistor? Is the resistor connected to enhance the output voltage, to boost the output voltage. This is a pull-up resistor which is connected between plus VCC and output terminal. Okay, when there is a resistor connected between plus VCC and output terminal, it is called as pull-up. Pull-up means to increase, to enhance the output voltage, to boost up the output voltage, and pull down means to reduce the output voltage. At that time the resistor will be connected to output terminal and ground. Okay, here it is connected between output terminal and VCC, therefore it is called as pull-up resistor. So its value can be assumed from 4.7 kilo ohm to 10 kilo ohm. Then calculation of amplitude of square wave, there are fixed formulas. Number one, amplitude of square wave V square, it is equal to VCC max, where VCC max is nothing but twice of VCC, you can say directly, plus VCC minus of minus VCC is twice of VCC. If plus minus VCC is 5 volt, then VCC max will be equal to 10 volt, twice of VCC directly without any sign. Then amplitude of triangular waveform denoted as VTR, 0.33 into VCC max. Amplitude of sine wave V sine is equal to 0.22 times of VCC max. Okay, so by using these formulas we have to calculate the amplitude of three waveforms and draw the circuit diagram with all component values. This is the typical circuit diagram. As here I have forgotten to give the variable register like this. So these two are variable. Then this register is having fixed value of 10 kilo ohm. We have to calculate the value of these components which are shown in green line. So this capacitor value we have to calculate, this Ra and Rb we have to calculate, and Rp is pull up resistor. We can select any value from 4.7 to 10 kilo ohm, and we have to calculate the amplitudes of these three waveforms, square, triangular and sine waveforms. Okay, so what are the design steps? Design step number 1 is given. List out the given parameters, then select capacitor value based on guidelines, calculate the value of Ra and Rb. Then third one, assume the pull up resistor value. Then fourth step, in that you have to calculate three parameters, amplitudes of the three waveforms, square, triangular and sine waveforms, using the standard formulas. Let us solve the problem based on this. Design a waveform generator using IC 8038. The function of oscillations, the frequency of oscillation is 5 kilohertz and the duty cycle is 50%. Okay, given specification VCC is given as plus minus 5 volt. Okay, now what is given first step? Output frequency is given as 5 kilohertz. So from that table, standard table, 5 kilohertz, you can select the capacitor value initially. So where is the 5 kilohertz? Here you can see 5 kilohertz is in between this range, 1 to 10 kilohertz. So select capacitor as 0.01 microfarad directly. So selecting this value, then duty cycle is given as 50% and plus minus VCC is given as plus minus 5 volt. Okay, so if duty cycle is not given in the problem, suppose, so you just assume it as a 50%. Okay, now calculation of Ra and Rb. For 50% duty cycle, we know that Ra is equal to Rb. Both the resistors are having equal value for 50% duty cycle, just like we have solved in a stable and monostable multivibrator. Okay, so as duty cycle is given 50%, both the resistors are having equal value, and output frequency equation is Fo is equal to 0.3 divided by Rc. So keeping the values of output frequency and capacitor C which we have assumed, you will get R is equal to 6 kilo ohm. So Ra and Rb is equal to variable resistor of 6 kilo ohm. Selection of Rp from 4.7 to 10 kilo ohm. So you select any value, we will select 10 kilo ohm. Calculation of amplitudes, V square is equal to VCC max. So VCC max is twice of VCC plus 5 volt minus of minus 5 volt. So you will get 10 volt peak to peak. VCC max or V square is equal to 10 volt peak to peak. VTR is equal to 0.33 into VCC max. So keeping the value, you will get 3.3 volt peak to peak. V sine, by using this formula, you will get 2.2 volt peak to peak. And finally draw the circuit diagram. So again, one more correction here, these two are variable. Okay, variable registers, Ra and Rb are variable registers. 6 kilo ohm having value. This capacitor value we have selected as 0.01 microfarad. This is the fixed value 100 kilo ohm, minus VCC supplies there, plus VCC supplies there, and we have calculated the amplitudes of these three waveforms, and we have selected this pull up resistor value. So this is the complete circuit diagram, very simple. It can be asked for 7 marks. Okay, 7 or 8 marks. Then we will discuss on design of PLL based circuit, phase lock loop. So in the second year also, in high speed electronic devices, we have discussed on what is PLL. So PLL is nothing but is basically a closed loop system which generates the output signal whose frequency and phase are equal to the phase and frequency of the input signal. Okay, so function of PLL is to lock the output frequency and phase with that of input frequency with that of um, input frequency, okay, and phase. So as we know that there are three blocks. If you see the block diagram of PLL, phase detector is there, active low pass filter is there, then VCO is there. VCO stands for voltage controlled oscillator. Okay, So here you can see it's working. We have seen in the second year as it works in three modes, that is uh, these three modes are free running mode, capture mode and lock mode. Okay, free running, capture and lock mode. Okay, these three are the working modes of PLL. So phase detector is nothing but a multiplier to which we have applied the input signal. Here the input signal with frequency phi in and f in is applied as an input to the phase detector. The output is given to the low pass filter, which allows only low frequency signal to the output. Voltage control oscillator is basically a free running multi vibrator. When no input signal is applied, still it is generating the output. Like us, this is nothing but an astable multi vibrator whose frequency is also called as free running frequency. And when the output is given back to the input, so this is with the output frequency. So phase detector is nothing but a multiplier which compares the signal with input frequency f in and output frequency fo, that is feedback, and it will generate the error voltage. It will generate the output voltage with the two components, that is high frequency component, low frequency component. F in plus fo will be the high frequency component and f in minus fo will be the low frequency component, and this signal will be applied to the low pass filter. The low pass filter only allows the low frequency component f in minus fo at the output, and this output signal, which is amplified by the active low pass filter, will decides the output frequency of VCO. Okay, so VCO is continuously generating the output signal, and when no input signal is applied, the PLL is running in the free running mode. Okay, so initially when there is no input applied, the PLL operates in the first mode, that is called as free running mode. And when second stage, when an input signal is applied, uh, then the output signal frequency of VCO will start to change. Okay, the output frequency of VCO, it depends on the input frequency applied, that means output of filter, and the VCO will try to change its output frequency, and at this stage the PLL is said to be operating in the capture mode. Okay, so VCO is continuously trying to match the output frequency with the input frequency. This mode is called as capture mode, and once the output signal frequency of VCO is equal to the input signal frequency, that means output frequency is equal to input signal frequency, that mode is called as lock mode. Okay, so PLL operates in three modes that we have discussed here. We have discussed in briefly. In second year, you have studied already the theoretical working of PLL. So this is the PLL IC available in the market, IC PLL 565. Many other ICs are also available like 562, 564, etc. But this one is very popular, which is available in 14 pin DIP package like this. IC 565 is a PLL IC whose output frequency is given by this formula. FO is equal to 0.25 RT into C2 Hertz. Okay, RT and CT are the external components which decides, which are called as timing resistor and timing capacitors, which decides the output frequency of VCO. The register value can be selected between 2 kilo ohm to 20 kilo ohm, as here you can see 2 to 20 kilo ohm, any value of RT can be selected, and based on if the frequency is known, you can calculate the value of CT. Okay, so it is available in 14 pin DIP package, as you can see here. Pin number 1 minus VCC, pin number 2 and 3 are the inputs for output. VCO output, phase comparator input is pin number 5, reference output is available at pin number 6, and pin number 11, 12, 13, 14 are not connected. So only 10 pins are in use, other pins are not connected. Okay, here you can see the internal block diagram of IC 565 also. Like there is a phase detector to which input signal is applied, pin number 2 and 3. Pin 10 is VCC. Output of phase detector is given to the amplifier. An internal resistor of 3 kilo ohm with an external capacitor which forms the low pass filter, and whose output is available at pin number 7 as a demodulated output, and at pin number 6 we can get the output reference output voltage. Okay, this output of filter is applied to the VCO voltage control oscillator, which is basically a free running multi vibrator whose output is available at pin number 4. So output frequency of VCO will be decided by the input signal given by the amplifier. Okay, and then low pass filter. Okay, there are two external components, RT and CT, connected externally to the VCO, which will decides the output frequency of VCO. So to give the feedback, we have to connect externally this pin number 4 to pin number 5. That means VCO output to the phase comparator input we have to connect externally. These two pins are not internally shorted. Pin number 1 is connected to minus VCC, here you can see. So this is the circuit diagram. This is the internal circuit diagram or block diagram of IC 565. Okay, so you have to keep in mind the formulas. That one is nothing but output frequency is equal to 0.25 RTCT hertz, or you can approximate that 0.25 is equal to 0.3 divided by RT into CT hertz. Okay, you can round off this to 0.3 also, divided by RT into CT. And another formula you have to remember is capture range FC and lock range FL. Okay, here the formula for capture range. What is capture range and lock range? The range of frequencies over which the PLL can maintain the lock, PLL can acquire the lock, is called as capture range. Theoretically we have studied in second year, so I will just give the definition. Capture range is the range of frequencies over which PLL can acquire the lock. PLL is trying to get the lock. That range of frequencies is called as capture range, whereas lock range is the range of frequencies over which PLL can maintain the lock. Okay, it's called as lock range. So formula for FC is equal to plus minus under root of FL divided by 2 pi RC, which can be further modified like this with power of half, that is under root. Okay, and you can assume the value of capacitor here, which capacitor is given here. Its value can be assumed between 1 microfarad to 10 microfarad. So this is the formula for FC. The formula for FL is equal to plus minus 8 times of F out divided by Vmax, where Vmax is nothing but equal to twice of VCC. Just like plus VCC minus of minus VCC, you will get it as a twice of VCC. So capture range, these are the design steps while solving the problem. First of all, what is given that you have to mention, you have to write down. Then calculation of RT and CT, external resistor and capacitor, which are called as timing capacitor, calculation of lock range, then capture range, and then relationship between FC and F out. Okay, F out is output frequency, which is a center frequency. FL is a lock range frequency, and FC is the capture range frequency. And finally the circuit diagram. You have to solve the problem based on this. Let us see. Design a PLL using IC 565 for VCO output frequency of 3 kHz. Also calculate the lock range, capture range, and use plus minus VCC is 10 volt. Okay, so if VCC is not given in the problem, you can assume it as 10 volt or 12 volt. If even though it is not asked in the problem to calculate lock and capture range, and only ask, suppose design a PLL using IC 565 for output frequency of 3 kHz, then also go for the calculation of lock range and capture range as per the design steps. Okay, so first step, what is given? The given is the output frequency as 3 kHz. Okay, second step, calculation of RT and CT. So formula is known to you. F out is equal to this formula, which can be further modified as 0.3 divided by RT CT. Finally you can keep in mind this formula, 0.3 divided by RT into CT. So as per the guideline, RT can be selected between 2 kilo ohm to 20 kilo ohm. So let us select RT is equal to 10 kilo ohm. So keeping the value, you will get the value of CT, because output frequency is given as 0.3 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz. So you will get the capacitor value, CT value, as 0.01 microfarad. So only one formula you have to remember here, 0.3 divided by RT into CT. So assume the value of RT within this range and calculate CT if frequency is known. Second, lock range FL formula is plus minus 8 times of FO divided by Vmax. So VCC is given as 10 volt. So VO max is equal to twice of VCC. You will get 20 volt. So by keeping the value, you will get plus minus 1.2 kilohertz, the lock range. It is the range of frequencies over which PLL can acquire the PLL can maintain the lock. Okay. Then capture range. As I told you, the formula is for capture range is this formula which we have seen earlier. FC is equal to this basic formula plus minus, finally you will get this 2 pi into this internal register R3 of internal register is 3.6 kilo ohm. So 2 pi into 3.6 into C, so that comes around 22.6 into 10 to the power 3 into C. So you have to keep in mind any one of these three formulas. So finally you can keep in mind this one, FC is equal to plus minus in bracket FL divided by 22.6 into 10 to the power 3 into C, where there are some guidelines to select the capacitor value, like C can be selected between 1 microfarad to 10 microfarad. So by keeping the values here FL, then 2 pi into this resistor value, fixed internal resistor 3.6 kilo ohm, and this capacitor value which we have selected as 10 microfarad, you will get the FC capture range equal to plus minus 72.89 hertz. Just plot the relationship between F out, FL and FC. So center frequency is given as 3 kilohertz, F out. Capture range we have calculated as what is the calculated value is of capture range is 72.89 hertz, and here lock range is 1.2 kilohertz. Okay, lock range will be having higher value. So just add and minus these values with the center frequency. When we add 72.89 hertz with this 3 kilohertz center frequency, you will get higher edge of this capture range as 3.072 kilohertz. Similarly, it is available in it, we have calculated in plus minus, therefore we have to minus it, then you will get 2.927 kilohertz. So you will get two values, because one positive and one negative, because we have got this answer as plus minus 72.89 hertz. तो इसमें ऐड करके जो वैल्यू आएगा दैट विल बी अपर एज, और माइनस करके जो आएगा दैट विल बी lower edge of the capture range. Similarly, we have also got the value of lock range with plus minus 1.2 kilohertz. So add करके जो value आएगा that is 4.2 kilohertz, that will be upper edge of lock range, and minus करके जो value आएगा that will be lower edge of lock range, it is 1.8 kilohertz. Okay, so lock range will be within this range and capture range will be within this range. Okay, and there is a center frequency FO is given as 3 kilohertz. 3 kilohertz में ऐड करके मिला है अपर एज ऑफ कैप्चर रेंज, माइनस करके मिला है लोअर एज ऑफ कैप्चर रेंज. सिमिलरली उसमें ही ऐड करके मिला है अपर एज ऑफ लॉक रेंज, और उसमें माइनस करके मिला है लोअर एज ऑफ लॉक रेंज. कितना वैल्यू माइनस किया और कितना प्लस किया, जो आंसर आया है वो प्लस माइनस. ओके, सो दिस इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन center frequency FL and FC, and finally the circuit diagram. Okay, this is the circuit diagram. Here you can see you have mentioned the calculated value CT. This is the typical circuit diagram. Out of 14 pins, only 10 pins are used. Pin number 2 input, 3 ground, pin number 9 timing capacitor is connected, pin number 1 is given to minus VCC, pin number 4 is VC output, to which pin number 5 is connected, shorted. Reference output is available at 6. Pin number 7 demodulated output. there is a fixed capacitor value of C2 is equal to 10 microfarad, which we have selected during the calculation, and RT we have calculated as 10 kilo ohm. VCC is given as 10 volt. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram final you have to draw when the problem is asked based on this. Okay, now let us move to the next problem. Here a different type of problem can be asked. For the PLL circuit shown below, calculate number 1 free running frequency, lock range, capture range, and plot the relationship between FC and FL. Okay, so what is given here? Circuit diagram is given, means RT its value is given, CT is given here 0.05 microfarad, CT is given, RT is given as 10 kilo ohm. This minus VCC and plus VCC are given as plus minus 10 volt. And it is very easy now to calculate the output frequency, that is free running frequency, lock range, capture range, and plot the relationship between all these. So you know the basic formula, F out is equal to 1.2 divided by 4.4 into RT into CT. So it can be modified like this and you will get 6 kilohertz the output frequency. Lock range, the standard formula is plus minus 8 F out by V. V is nothing but maximum output voltage, V max, so which is twice of VCC is 20, and you will get 2.4 kilohertz as the lock range. Capture range by using the formula FL plus minus FL divided by 2 pi into 3.6 into 10 to the power 3 into C. So keeping the values you will get 103 hertz. Lock range value is always greater than capture range value. Capture range value is in hertz and lock range is in kilohertz. Plot the relationship. So at the center there will be a free running frequency 5 kilohertz. Upper edge and lower edge of the capture range, this is the capture range with plus minus values. Okay, we have added 103 with 5 kilohertz, so you will get 5.1 kilohertz. Here we have minus, we have subtracted 103 hertz, so we will get 4.89 kilohertz. Similarly, this is the upper and lower edge, upper edge and lower edge of the lock range. We have added the positive 2.4 kilohertz and we have subtracted the same value, we have added to get the higher edge and we have subtracted the lock range value to get the lower edge. Okay, so this is the relationship between FC and FL. Such type of problem can be asked in the exam. Okay, now let us focus on the design of DC voltmeter. We know that voltmeter is used to measure the output voltage. Okay, so AC voltmeter and DC voltmeters are the two types of meters. Then analog meter, digital meters are also there. So voltmeter is basically used to measure the potential difference between 2 points. So voltage is always measured in parallel, whereas current is always measured in series. Voltage is measured between the 2 points. Here you can see the basic meter circuit, which consists of input voltage is applied here. RS is the source resistance through which current flowing. Let us denote this current as IFSD, full scale deflection current. There is a current meter connected in series. So in that there is a series resistance denoted as RM, which is called as a meter resistance, with this connected in series with the meter. Okay, and a multi-range DC voltmeter. This is a basic meter circuit and this is multi-range. So there are three ranges, V1, V2 and V3, three ranges. Three multiplier resistors are connected, R1, R2 and R3. Rm is the meter resistance connected in series with the meter through which IFSD, full scale deflection current, is flowing. Okay, now the voltage range of the DC voltmeter can be decided by selecting the value of source resistance, RS. Okay, so if we see the basic circuit diagram, we can apply KVL to this circuit and we can get this equation: V in minus RS into IFSD, because IFSD current flowing through the RS, minus RM into IFSD, same current is flowing through the RM also, is equal to 0. So you can rearrange the terms. You will get this equation, basic equation: Rs is equal to V in by IFSD minus Rm. Okay, where what is V in is the input voltage, Rs is the multiplier resistance, Rm is the meter resistance, IFSD is the full scale deflection current. Okay, a multi-range DC voltmeter can also be designed by connecting number of resistors together with a range selector switch. Here it is a range selector switch. Input signal is applied from this side, and there are three positions: V1, V2 and V3, and three resistors are connected in series like this to select these three different ranges for the measurement of DC voltage. And this is the fixed network with a meter and its series resistance. So let us solve one problem based on this. Design a DC voltmeter with internal resistance of 50 ohm and full scale deflection current of 50 microampere. For voltage ranges, first range is 0 to 10 volt, 30 volt and 250 volt. Okay, so let us calculate for the first range. For position V1, if the position of selector switch is V1 like this, here it is position is V1, and we have to calculate in this problem the values of series resistors R1, R2 and R3. ये तीनों वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करना है. तो we will go for first stage when the position of the selector switch is suppose at V1, where we will consider where V1 Vin is equal to 10 volt, because there are three ranges: 10, 30 and 250. So for V1 position we will consider Vin is equal to 10 volt. Therefore we can calculate the value of R1, which is equal on the based on the basic formula R1, that is this formula: Rs is equal to Vin by IFSD minus Rm. So R1 is equal to Vin by IFSD minus Rm. So you will get value as 199.95 kilo ohm, which can be approximated to 200 kilo ohm further. Okay, so for V position V1, when Vin is equal to 10 volt, you got the value of R1 is as 200 kilo ohm. Then for position V2, the second range is 30 volt, therefore Vin is equal to 30 volt. And now what will be the value of Rm? So instead of this Rm, there will be now R1 plus Rm, because at position V2, you can see at position V2 you are calculating the value of R2, and it will be the combination of R1 plus Rm. Okay, at the position V2. So you can modify the formula like this. Same Rs, instead of place Rs is now R2. This is same Vin by FSD, and instead of Rm, now there is R1 plus Rm. So keeping the values, you will get 400 kilo ohm. Similarly at position 3, that means V3. Now third voltage range is Vin is equal to 250 volt. Now you are calculating the value of R3, and instead of Rm, there will be R2 plus R1 plus Rm. Okay, you are calculating the value of R3, and now it will be combination of Rm plus R1 plus R3. So value of Rm is nothing but addition of these three resistors. So keeping the values, you will get the final as 4.4 mega ohm. So just calculate R1, R2 and R3, draw the circuit diagram, mention all the calculated values, and with all the ranges V1, V2 and V3, you will be able to measure these three different ranges in a DC voltmeter. Okay, so this is just a basic circuit of DC voltmeter. In the exam, the circuit based on other ICs 7106 and 7107 can also be asked. For that you can refer the book Mantri and Jain. In that the problem with solution is given. Electronic circuit designed by Mantri and Jain. Okay, so up to this video, that is all from my side. Goodbye, thank you.